The Heat haven't won a playoff series since their surprising run to the 2023 finals, but Bam Adebayo believes the team's offseason moves have it headed back toward contention, writes Anthony Chang of the Miami Herald. Adebayo spoke to reporters Saturday at his youth basketball clinic in Miami, marking his first public comments since the Heat were knocked out of the playoffs by Cleveland in April. "It's a very good shakeup for our team, and now there's a different dynamic to it," Adabo said. Miami added another dynamic scorer last month by acquiring Norman Powell from the Clippers in a three-team trade. After two straight top-4 finishes in the sixth Man of the Year voting, Powell moved into LA's starting lineup last season and responded with a career-high 21.8 points per game. Chang notes that he was one of just 6 players who averaged at least 21 ppg while shooting better than 48% from the field and 40% from three-point range. The Heat were able to land Powell at a bargain price, sending versatile forward Kyle Anderson, veteran big man Kevin Love, and a 2027 second-round pick to Utah in the deal. "I feel like Norman is one of those guys that floats under the radar," Adebayo said. "But as you saw this year, he's really shown that he can be an all-star caliber player. You've seen what he's done, and you've seen him grow in this league. And obviously, he wants to take the next challenge. Obviously, the next challenge is being with the Miami Heat. So I'm happy to have him." Miami was also able to re-sign free agent point guard Davion Mitchell, who was acquired from Toronto in February. Mitchell responded to the trade by putting up 10.3 points, 2.7 rebounds, 5.3 assists, and 1.4 steals in 30 games with Miami, while shooting 50.4% from the floor and 44.7% from beyond the arc. Chang states that he also made a difference with his aggressive defense, as the Heat gave up 3.4 fewer points per 100 possessions when he was on the court. Davion being back, obviously, we've been missing somebody that can really play on-ball defense, Adabo said. And having him come in and be that guy and understand his role, I'm looking forward to him being here for a full year and all of us being together and getting to know one another and turning this into more of a brotherhood. We were kind of disconnected a little bit trying to figure out everybody's role and trying to figure out everybody's style of play. But now we're going to have a good training camp and then we go from there." Adebayo also talked about the teammates he lost as the Heat retooled their roster. In addition to parting ways with Love and Anderson, Miami sent Duncan Robinson to Detroit in a sign-and-trade deal that brought back Simone Fontecchio. "I'm going to miss them, obviously," Adebayo said. "Just because Duncan has been here for 8 years, and having that connection was special. And then Caleb was a leader that could speak to somebody from a championship level, could obviously encourage the younger group, be an example, but also he was the bridge between some of the coaches and the players. So like I said, I'm going to miss both of them. I'm glad we had the time that we did. It was obviously helpful for my growth and my development as a player and as a captain." Miami Heat guard Tyler Harrow will eventually be eligible to sign an extension to keep him in Miami. Harrow is fresh off averaging career highs in points, 23.9, and assists, 5.5, per game, and earned the first All-Star nod of his pro career in the 2024-25 campaign as well. As Harrow could be a key part of the Heat's present and future, one insider expects him to want a pretty penny from them once he is eligible for a contract extension. 5 Reasons Sports' Greg Sylvander shared via Discord that he thinks Harrow will want to be paid more than $40 million annually. Sylvander noted that the New York Knicks recently inked forward Mikal Bridges to a 4-year, $150 million extension. With never been an All-Star and probably won't ever be an All-Star Mikal Bridges getting 4 years, $150 million, you can bet Tyler Harrow, particularly if he is back-to-back seasons at the heightened efficiency, is going to ask for well north of that salary, Sylvander wrote. "I expect he will want $41 to $42 million per year at least." Harrow will be eligible to sign an extension with the Heat in October. If they don't come to an agreement, they can revisit it next offseason. There's a real argument to be made that Bridges wasn't a top 3 player on the Knicks a season ago, but New York still gave him a big payday. Using Bridges' extension as a measuring stick, it's easy to see why Sylvander believes Harrow is going to want well more than what Bridges will be getting paid per year. On top of the standout season he just had, Harrow has also been key to some deep playoff runs Miami has made over the years. It would make some sense for the team to reward his loyalty and growth with a load of money. There are reasons to give the Heat pause about inking Harrow to a deal that would pay him so much, however. For as gifted an offensive player as he isn't known for his play on the defensive end of the floor, and it's worth questioning whether he will ever be a positive contributor on that side of the ball. It would be in the best interest of the Heat to keep Harrow in the fold for his scoring and playmaking chops, but whether they should be willing to do whatever it takes to keep him around is a difficult question. Giving Bam Adebayo and Tyler Harrow an opportunity to lead the Miami Heat appears the most likely outcome for the 2025 to 2026 season. However, the right opportunity arising at February's trade deadline could always shift an organization's plans. The Los Angeles Clippers have the league's oldest roster, led by Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, Bradley Beal, Chris Paul, and more, so there's no telling how much next year will play out for them. It's possible all of the veteran stars thrive together, or the Clippers could fall completely out of title contention due to injuries and inconsistency. If the latter takes place, PFSN predicts the Heat could swoop in and acquire Leonard in a win-now blockbuster trade. The six-time All-Star has 2 seasons remaining on his 3-year, $153 million contract, which is ideal for Miami's front office. It would give the Heat a few seasons to contend with a trio of Harrow, Adabo, and Leonard before money comes off the books for what is projected to be a loaded 2027 free agency class. Los Angeles trading Leonard would signal a rebuild is on the horizon, so the likes of Jamie Jaquez Jr., Nikola Jovic, and draft capital could play a part in this scenario. One obstacle to this deal occurring is the Heat are often stubborn about how many assets are given up, so it's much more likely Leonard finishes out his roller coaster career in LA or elsewhere.